Alright. This is part something of my MMX 100% tutorial. We're just going to call it an addendum. This is the Chameleon 3rd edition. I wasn't going to do this tutorial because I figured if you were going to go for this route, there was probably not a need for a tutorial. You could just, do it. But I've been asked multiple times, so here we are, and I'm going to do a tutorial for Chameleon 3rd and its implications in the other stages that you would have C-sting in with this route that you wouldn't normally in other routes. So, first thing I want to do is I'm going to just show a clip from my PB of what the trick looks like. So, here is what the goal is. This is from my 3501 world's record currently. So that's the goal. We want to get the heart without water or the ice sled, allowing us to do Chameleon 3rd. And the benefit of this is that we get C-sting early, and we'll have it for the Storm Eagle fight. Now this strat is going to lose time overdoing it with water there in this stage, in this segment, because it takes longer. You got to juggle and do stuff. So you're going to lose time in this segment, but that time is more than made up for in the time gained in the Eagle fight by having C-sting. So that is the goal. Couple things to talk about before we get into how to do it. There are two versions of Mega Man X or Rockman X. There's version 1.0 and version 1.1. If you're going to be going for this route, you absolutely want to be on a 1.0 cart because, and I can show you quickly, I think. Yeah, okay. I've got a Rockman X revision A. This is a 1.1. I should have had this ready. MMX password generator. So on 1.1, it's not impossible to juggle drops with a boomerang, but it is it's really stupid. So, let me just. I'm an idiot. God, this is why I shouldn't do these live. It's just really dumb trying to juggle drops in 1.0. I know for a fact that you can juggle drops, but it's incredibly inconsistent. It's not always possible. I don't know the exact science behind it, but is this even the right password? Okay. 7746. It's just really dumb trying to juggle drops like this. So I'll just show you quickly. I think, at least what I noticed when I was messing around with it earlier today before this tutorial, is that drops. Did I really not give myself boots? What? No wonder the password looks so stupid. Whatever, let's just get somewhere kind of safe. Let's just get back to this guy. So, here we go. So the drop just won't juggle, no matter where you hit it with the boomerang. It just does not juggle. Now I noticed when I was messing with it earlier, I had a drop that was shaking in the boomerang, like we've seen in other instances, but that's not always going to be the case. So you're going to want to run on 1.1. That was the whole point of this. It was a big waste of time. I'm sorry. The other thing, I mean, there's a couple other things. You in 1.1 you can only juggle the first drop, a drop in your first boomerang that you fire. So, let's just see if I can make an example of that. If I fire a boomerang and then another one, now I can't juggle that drop, right? Boomerang out, second boomerang gets the drop. Ah! Don't touch me. You can't juggle this. Oh, okay, I lied. But it's like... it's not always... See, now I can't juggle it. But then I can? I don't understand. But, like, you can't always juggle a drop if it's not in your first boomerang. Maybe, yeah, maybe you can only juggle it from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 or something like that. I don't know. There's some weird shit going on, but just be aware that if you fire a boomerang and it misses, you don't want to try to do it again. You want to wait for this boomerang to come back. Right? Because sometimes the strat will look like this, and if you try to fire it with this one, you're going to be in trouble. Because you're probably not going to be able to juggle it. Right? In this instance, you're going to want to wait for the boomerang to come back before you fire your second one. So that's another main point. I guess I could talk about phantom grabs in general, even though I've already covered them. The idea is that you want to grab a drop, and then on the very next frame load the intended target, like the phantom grab target. So, in order to set that up, you want to get one frame away from loading this heart, and then collect the drop. And then hold right, so that the heart loads on the next frame. It loads into your boomerang instead of over on the ledge. And the way we set that up is interesting. So, where are my notes? I made notes for this. All right. The first thing you're going to want to do in this stage is take some damage. And there's a reason for that. And I take it off this first guy, because as you know, if you watch my other tutorials, you can cancel hit stun against walls. So by jumping over this guy's, whatever these are, wood chunks or something, you can hit him and then cancel your hit stun against this, and then move on. You can also do it against the second one. It just sort of makes it a little tighter for me. I know Baba does it like this, where he takes the deboost from the second one. But I prefer the first. So you're going to want to kill this guy, take your deboost, and then kill that guy. And you got to watch out for drops from this guy. You don't want to refill your health. So that's the advantage of taking the deboost off the second guy. But you can react to those drops pretty easily. If it's ammo, it's no big deal. You can collect that. So ideally, it looks something like this: deboost, and then if it's health, you want to avoid it. So I jump to the wall and then dash kick over the top of it. If it's not health, ideally, you just jump clean over it like that, and then you can have a blue shot to kill that stuff. And yeah. So the reason you want to have lower health is in case the drop you're trying to juggle is health. And we'll get to that out here. So you want to get your health low-ish. You just need to be missing some health. And then you want to sweep this stuff away. Jump over the top and shoot your lemon so it kills that guy. And this is the guy you're going to be farming your drop off of. He's not always going to drop a drop right away. But sometimes he will. And then you can juggle it on the way down and get your grab. There's multiple backups. This is where it gets a little complicated. You're going to have to think on the fly. Whether or not he drops an item determines whether you fire your boomerang right away. So, if he drops an item from this first shot, that's ideal. And you could just fire your boomerang right away. Right away. Before you even kick the wall, you fire the boomerang, come up and do your juggle. If he does not, then you want to kick first. And then fire your boomerang, and then you can do this wiggle move to respawn him, and you can get a drop out of him that way. And then again, he still might not drop it. You'll fall down here, and you're going to have to start farming for a drop, which is frustrating, but that's the nature of the trick. At which point, you've probably already lost all the time you're going to gain. So, it's a pretty risky strat. And also, obviously, you risk death going for it, so it's going to be a reset a lot of times. So just be prepared for that if you're going to try this route. Another thing you got to watch out for is your ammo. So if you fire a boomerang and it comes back to you without hitting an enemy, it's going to refill your ammo. You're going to get that ammo back. But if you fire a boomerang at an enemy and it kills him, you don't get that ammo back. See, I'm missing one now. And this is a concern because we use boomerangs up here versus old green biker dad, and we use boomerangs against Sting Chameleon. So our boomerangs are already strictly rationed throughout this stage. So you're going to have to be mindful. Now, obviously, see, you get the kill with the lemon, and you're in a great position. You're going to come out of here with full boomerangs. But if you don't get the kill, or if you don't get the drop right away, and you got to do one of these backups, I'm already down 2 ammo, and I can't be down any more ammo than that. So that's when I go to the Buster farm. Now you can get lucky and get an ammo drop to do your grab with, which is gonna refill your ammo. But that's not always the case. So notice, even though it was like I think a third try drop that time, I still got full ammo. But you're just gonna have to take a look at your ammo when you get up to the top. For me, I never want to be less than missing. I never want to be missing more than 2 ammo when I come up here to fight Green Biker Dad. Because then you're gonna start adding more and more extra hits the more ammo you're missing. So for me, what it looks like, if I don't get the drops, I do the wiggle move. Say you didn't drop again. I'll do one more boomerang. If I didn't get the drop, now it's a Buster farm, hoping for the drop. Another thing I guess I should mention that I forgot to mention, if you can only phantom grab with the first drop that appears on screen, and that's due to the way the phantom grab works. It's the memory slots, shit like that. Too complicated for me, but just know that if there is a drop on screen and you collect a second drop and try to phantom grab with it, it's never gonna work. So in instances where, like, say I just missed this and then I get a drop from that guy, you can't grab with that. So just know that. What else? Oh, extra lives are bad for this Phantom Grab. It's doable, but it turns one frame perfect release of input into a frame perfect release, and then a frame perfect repress of right. So it turns one frame perfect into double frame perfect, and pretty much stupidly difficult. So if you get an extra life, I suggest just bailing and farming for a different drop. Unless you got giant balls and want to see. Unless you got giant balls and want to go for it. It's pretty much impossible. So, into the meat of it, I suppose. Once you get your drop, whether it be first try drop is ideal, you do your wiggle, maybe you get it there, maybe you get it on the third try. At any rate, you've got a drop and you're ready to try to Phantom Grab. What I'm looking at when I'm doing this Phantom Grab, I fire my boomerang usually right around the corner of here. This is where you're going to get a good juggle. Maybe this isn't the best way to do it. I mean, let me try again. Let me get a drop up there. Okay. So I'll fire like, see, it's like right at the corner most of the time. You're just gonna have to sort of watch your drop, but you fire it right at the corner here, and you'll get a juggle, and then you gotta break open a slot here, and you can do that in a couple different ways. The most reliable I've found is a double kick, and then you've got to juggle again after that. So all of this has got to happen pretty quickly. There's a lot of moving parts, and you're on the clock for the duration, because this boomerang is going to be trying to deliver this drop to you, and you don't want to collect it till you're ready. So you got to juggle once, and then you do your break, and then you juggle again. My button layout, I have R dash, and then my right swap is on X. Everything else is default. Now, when you're going for this break, the double break is the one I found most reliable for me. But when you break this stuff, you want to break. There's three that work pretty well. Ideally, you break the middle two, these two, and then you stand inside here. One block up works, and one block lower works as well. But for me, ideally, you break the center two blocks. See, this drop is not gonna work, no matter what I do. That looked good, but since it was the second drop, it just doesn't work. So, you do your juggle, right? You do your first juggle up here, you come down and you do your double break. You want to get the center two, one up or one down works. And you gotta find your own consistency with this. The spacing on the kicks can be difficult, and depending on where you kick, you may have to space your kicks differently to get two blocks broken, but that's probably the hardest part of this trick, is getting a consistent break on this wall. But this one would work. If you break higher, like I did just there, so you end up in this hole here. You want to, instead of dashing off and kicking off the top block, you actually want to kick lower, because you need headroom. You need the space to get out here and be able to get back. If you try to kick off a higher block, you're going to hit your head and fall short. So, it's something you got to watch out for. Like this one's probably not going to work. You might be able to salvage this, but your boomerang's coming. You got to get down low and then get out there. Ideally, you want to kick off this third block as your the one that sends you out over the pit. The third block from the ground. It can be done off this block, which is why, like I said, one block lower works as well. Like this could do. This is all sort of reactionary, right? Like, it's hard to describe, but something like this can work, and you can still make it back. So, it's not always dead if you don't break exactly where you wanted to or exactly how you wanted to. So you do your double kick, right? Juggle here, double kick, juggle again, and then get inside. Get inside, and you've got not a lot of time because that drop is coming. So you want to dash out, no D-pad. Dash out, dash kick, and then press right. If you try to like hold right, you'll just do that and fall in the pit. Which is not, obviously not what you want to happen. Sometimes, like, if you get in there cleanly, if your double kick was clean, you've got time to like slide down and then get in the hole. You also don't want to go too early out over the pit, right? Like, if you get in here real nice and clean, you do have to wait. You got to wait a little bit. I usually am waiting. It's sort of just a timing thing for me, internalized, but a decent cue is when your boomerang comes back on screen from your second juggle. He'll juggle left, and then when it comes back on screen, that's when you can go. But you'll figure that out as you mess with it. Because if you go too early, you'll collect the drop really low, and you won't be able to make it back. You have to be near peak height of your X's jump when you collect the drop to be able to make it back to the left without dying. That time I was too far right. So on to where I guess we need to be for this. Whoa. Okay, we don't want the seizure mode. Here's some slow motion action. We put in the old games here for this, but see the juggle there? Ah, okay, this is hard. The slow-mo, dude. Impossible. Oh man, double kicks are hard in slow-mo. Ah. It's the best way to do this. Okay, let's make a safe state there. Nope. Oh, I guess one other thing to note, when you're falling down after this juggle, like if you turn left and touch the wall, you lose all your down speed, right? Or if you try to turn back to the right and touch this wall, you lose all your downward momentum. So what you've got to do is what I just did there. If you lose your down speed, you're not going to be able to get 2 blocks broken before your next juggle. So in order to compensate, you do 1 break, juggle, oops, I lost all my down speed. 1 break, juggle, another break, and then you've really got to move, right? Because you're on the clock, big time. You've already wasted a bunch of time between your juggle and getting out there, so you've really got to go. It is salvageable, And a lot of these are salvageable, right? Like if you beef your double kick, you can still make this happen, but you got to be quick. You got to you gotta react. So it's not easy to salvage a muffed attempt, but it can be done. There are all sorts. You got more room than it may seem like at first, like time-wise, to do this, but it's still pretty tight. So in order to get this grab, you want to be about, how many lines is that? If we count this half a line on the left, this is 2, 3, 4 lines. You want to be in the center between lines 4 and 5 when you collect your drop. And there's like a 3 or 4 frame window or pixel window, but you're at dash speed, you're only ever going to be on one of those pixels, so it's frame perfect release of right. Man, double kicks. Double kicks are hard in slow-mo. There it is. So did you see where I collected that drop? Not the heart, but the ammo, or the health. That's where you need to be. It's not pixel perfect, it's frame perfect. It's a frame perfect release of right. So, yeah, this is what 50 FPS looks like. Let's see if I can get another one here. Ugh. I need the double kick. Okay, here we go. So, the reason that we took the damage earlier is because if we have a health drop, you get the refill animation now with a health drop or ammo, right? You get this amount of time to repress right. So the goal here is to get in position, let go of right, and then during the refill, whether it's ammo or health, repress right. So that on the very next frame after collecting the drop, you're moving right, spawning the heart, and then it spawns in your boomerang. That's the goal. And then you, during the heart fanfare, you press left, and you gotta ascend back out of the pit here. See, I went too early that time. I was never gonna make it back, even if I got it. This one as well is a death. That's why timing is so important here. You want to collect it fairly high so that you've got time to get back without dying. That one's too far to the right. And then as far as getting out of here, it's sort of up to you. I usually, if I'm high enough, I'll do a dash kick to get up here and jump to this one, and then do like a zigzag on the way out. But that's up to you. So that's probably too far right. This is another thing that you'll probably, like, the lines are a decent indicator, but they're not perfect of where you need to be. And for me, it's become less visual and more just a timing thing. Which is why this is so hard in slow-mo, because my timing's all goofed. It's going to be even harder when I go back to full speed. Oops. So you got to make sure you get the drop, and then you're holding right during the refill. That's key, right? You let go of right, hold right. I got the heart, but I didn't grab it. See, these are all way too low. I'm going early because of the slow-mo, but you got to be way up here if you want to make it back in time. So that's the grab in a nutshell. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, the refill time is why the extra lives are bad. Because you're never going to get the refill on an extra life. So it turns this frame perfect release of right into a double frame perfect, because now you don't have this refill time and you have to repress right the frame after collecting the extra life. See, I think a lot of these are just too far to the right. This one should be good. So, and again, it's doable from multiple positions, right? You could do it from here. You still can get enough height from right here with proper timing. And from higher, you simply, like if your double kick is higher, right here, one block higher, another block is probably too much, but say I'm standing one block taller, I just dash off, skip one, and then kick this third block. Ideally, you're kicking off this third block. So, I don't know what else to say about this grab itself. Oh man, high speed gameplay. It feels so fast. Still free though. I gotta refill my ammo and stuff. As far as, I mean, if there's any questions from chat, I'll be happy to answer them. But we'll just show you what it looks like from start to finish. Take your D-boost, read the drop. Ammo is fine, go ahead. And then we do this wiggle move. No more than 2 boomerang kills on this guy. Right? For me. And that's what I would recommend. If you don't get it with the lemon, the wiggle, or the next try, it's Buster farming time. And then we could do it from there. And that's because you don't want to be missing more than 2 boomerangs going into green bike or dead. D-boost, read the drop, juggle, miss the double kick, get it anyways because you're a god, and then ascend. So the goal here after ascending is you want to get on this ledge, jump here, one kick off here, 1, 2, dash kick here, and you're up. Now here's where you gotta check your ammo. you know, 18's good. You guys like that? You're full ammo, right? This is where you want to be. But you got to make sure you're checking it. Because after a couple tries, you could be down ammo. You could still be full because you got an ammo drop. If you're full, obviously it's the same strat. 18 boomerangs, 5 dash lemons. But if you are missing 2... Do I get that back? No. Okay. So say you're missing 2. Not a huge deal. Green Biker Dad, 18 and 5 is 23 hits to kill him, right? If you're missing 2 boomerangs, or even 1, what I do is 16 boomerangs and 7 lemons, which is only 1 extra hit, regardless, right? 17 boomerangs still needs 7 lemons, so it's still 24 hits versus the 23 with full ammo. So you can save yourself a boomerang for later by doing 16 and 8. 16 boomerangs, 8 dash lemons if you're missing 1 or 2 ammo, and you'll be in good shape for Chameleon. So for me, I mean, it's different for everybody, right? What did I just do? You know, most people do boomerangs first, which is fine. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 24 hits. Ideally, you come in here with full ammo, it's 23 hits. I do lemons first. Same idea though. I'm not gonna go over this fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. 24 hits. Still leaves you with the 10 boomerangs you need. If you were missing 2 rangs coming into the fight. So that's where you want to be. 10 ranks for Sting Chameleon himself. And then as far as the cave goes, it's going to be the same as any percent. Except for there will be no falling rocks. So it's pretty straightforward. What I like to do, this is probably the fastest way, cut this corner as close as I can, coming down with dash speed. Normally this won't be here. It will be sometimes, but so you cut the corner as close as you can. You don't have rolling shield as you would in the other route. I gotta get back up here. Okay. So you don't have rolling shield like you would in the other route, so you got to avoid these guys. You can't damage boost through them. The best way to do that is one of those, and then it's pretty simple. It's pretty similar to before. You just don't have the rolling shield, so you got to avoid them all. So if you barely clear this corner, it should only take 1 dash to get you up on this ledge. You don't have to land up there. And do the zigzag. You can land here and wait. It's up to you. But the fastest way is to land underneath them. And that's it for Chameleon stage. I don't really know what else to cover as far as the grab goes. I think I covered most of the ideas. If I can think of anything else, I'll come back to it. But now I'm going to go into like some of the differences that you'll see through the rest of the run by having Chameleon early. So next up would be Eagle. The only difference here is going to be in the fight. So I'm just going to go straight there. It actually makes the fight a lot easier. And simpler. And this is where your time save comes from this route. This is from this eagle fight. Pretty much exclusively. There are some other small time saves from having Sea Sting early, but the big one is from the eagle fight. So he's gonna, like D-Money says there, you're dealing more damage. It's 5 total hits less, which is, 5 less iframe cycles, 5 seconds. Hovers don't lose time, and your max dives goes down from 1 billion in the Buster fight to 7. Which I'm getting here, of course. This is a 5 dive pattern, but it's pretty simple. You can also go for the 50-50 at the end with Sea Sting. Try to guess which way he's diving. Pretty straightforward. Not a lot to cover here. The really cool thing is that hovers don't lose time. I think my RNG's locked because I'm using the Game Saver for the slow-mo effect. Anyways, that's the eagle fight. It's super free with Sea Sting. Up next, there's one really small change for me in Mammoth. There are some like top route shenanigans you can do with Sea Sting. I don't know them, so I'm not gonna cover them. Fatso, I think, uses Sea Sting for his top route. Wait, I do. I have to go up there, don't I? Damn it. Okay. The only place I use Sea Sting in this stage is at the very end. Now there's like that ice shot on the ball and chain guy. That's, instead of that ice shot, I just use Sea Sting. Makes it totally free. That's so weird. So, what I do, I'll start a charge as I would for ice, right around there. And then just swap to Sea Sting and basically pop it as soon as it's ready. And then you can just dash through all this shit. Not have to worry about any of it. Makes it totally free. The ice shot was pretty free already. But you also had to worry about dodging these guys and stuff. You don't have to worry about any of that with Charge Sea Sting. You just go. It's pretty nice. So, start the charge on the way down. And then I release it about there. And that'll get you all the way to the door. Without having to worry about any of these guys. Yeah, this is just Chameleon third stuff. That's why I skipped the sub-tank and the heart. I already covered the grab, now I'm just covering the differences that it has for the rest of the stages. Let's see. That's the only instance I use it in Mammoth. Up next would be Mandrill. There's really only one spot I use it here. And that's, I remember, because Drago says I have to be clear, you will normally go down there and get the sub-tank. I'm just showing off where I use C-Sting. So the only other place I use C-Sting is right here, after the blue guy. I shoot a C-Sting shot here to take out this light bird. And it gives you, like, it's super free to dodge this drop, and it's a super free shot. Where before, I would use ice and sort of kill him, like, above you. Oops. Right, this is what the old strat looked like. And sometimes he would drop the ammo or whatever on your head. Sometimes he'd drop it like right here in your way. Sometimes you would just miss. With C-Sting. I mean, you still ice shot this guy. Swap to C-Sting afterwards, and then just shoot it like around the middle of this block. And it'll get that guy. And it'll usually drop it right here, which makes it totally avoidable. Sometimes they'll drop it on top if you're a little late with your shot. So, that's the only thing I use Chameleon for in Mandrill that I can think of. Up next would be Armored Armadillo. There's only one instance here as well. I think C-Sting doesn't change the run a whole ton. Mostly just the eagle fight. So normally, you know, you go for the booty, whatever. It starts kind of right here. So what I do here, normally it would look something like this, or before it would look like this. Kill this guy, I do some ice shenanigans. Boom, 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 boom. Couple lemons, and then I'd start a charge. 1, 2, 3. And then I'd try this bat sweeper so that I could do a dash kick up here. Right, that was the old tech. Well, with C-Sting, forget all that, dude. Start a charge when you kill that bat, swap to C-Sting, and then pop it right before you crash into that bat. And just dash your way through here. Now what I like to do... what do I like to do here? Oh, not that. So start your charge when you shoot this bat. Should have enough time to get it right before you run into that bat. Yeah, I would, it gets a little laggy here at the end with all these bats at once, so my strat was to do like a couple short hops at the end to minimize dust sprites and also shoot a C-Sting shot to take out one of these bats to mitigate some of this lag that's generated since all the bats are still alive. Yeah, that's what mine looks like. Also, you can use the invulnerability from C-Sting to let's just respawn this cart. You can like get in this cart, you know, in the spike. You don't have to worry about bonking spikes, so you can get a really good cart mount using the C-Sting. One more time. Long dashes. Couple short dashes and a shot just to mitigate a little bit of lag. And that's it for Dillo with C-Sting. And then the other, Launch Octopus is got some differences that I take advantage of. So as you probably know, Sea Sting and Rolling Shield both do the same damage to subs. I don't know, Drago. I don't know. I've been asked multiple times for it, so I'm doing it. So Sea Sting does the same damage as Rolling Shield to subs, which means you don't have to use Spark on the second sub. You don't have to use your Rolling Shield. On the first sub, you'll have full ammo for Octo, which is not that important, but kind of nice. An added benefit, Charge Sea Sting, well active. Only draws X every other frame. So you might think that the color changing adds lag, but it actually reduces lag because X is only there every other frame. And that can help a lot for the explosions of the subs, because they can generate a bunch of lag. So what this looks like for me is I shoot a couple lemons up top to start my charge, and then I pop it at peak height there. And then smoke this sub from within. And the lag is a lot less during the explosion. Now, when you're doing this, you got to be aware that because you're not going to the right and manipulating the sub, or to the left rather, you can do searchlights. So you're going to want to take out the light like I did there. Pretty simple. The idea when taking out the light is you want your first shot to split so that it hits the light twice with the top two and the bottom sub with the bottom one. Does that make sense? Because the light takes 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Takes 3 hits to kill. So you want to get 2 hits from the top. You don't want that, because you want to be dealing damage to the sub at the same time. So you can kill the light in one shot, but you want to kill it in 2. You want your first shot to split and hit the light with the top 2 sections, and then finish him with another one. Now, Sea Sting's hitbox is so big when it comes out, you can get a double hit with just the initial part on the light and the sub. So each shot I'm firing is hitting the sub, but the first 2 are also hitting the light. So it should, in theory, only take 8 hits to kill this sub. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think the first one was early. But you can also take out the light with the first 2 hits and still get an 8-hit sub. So, the idea, again, the first one hits the light and the base, and then the second one, you kind of want to land it in the middle so that the hitbox hits both the light and the sub at the same time. If you miss it, don't worry about it. Unless he starts doing his light bullshit. See there, he was going to do the searchlight. We don't have to do it that way. I don't know what the iframes on the light are, but you can use your shots that killed the light to also damage the sub. that makes sense. Right? Because this first shot hits the sub and the light. Hits the light twice. And then the second shot hits both the light and the sub at the same time. Because the hitbox is huge. That's the strategy I use. There are obviously other ways to do it. You can't just come in here and go, you know, just spam away. And the reason we release the C-Sting so early is so that it wears out in time, so that you can start another charge. And I'll just be holding Y right away. And then I release it as early as I can here to mitigate some lag in the fish section as well. So I'm holding Y right now. Ideally the particles won't start until just after the sub's done exploding, so it doesn't add any extra lag. Now, coming through here, I'll release the C-Sting like right as I land. It makes the fish gap pretty free, like you don't have to worry about bonking the fish. You still can't get sucked in. So you gotta be careful of that. But it's pretty free. And then the same thing with this sub. You want to do the spreading shot to take out the light, and then you know, do the thing. The difference between this sub and that sub is that the first sub takes one less hit optimally. If you hit this sub before it's all the way out of the ground, it's going to take 9 hits to kill total. Because it takes half damage from the first hit if it's not out of the ground yet. The second sub does not have that. It always takes half damage from the first hit. So, this is actually, I think, a pretty substantial time save, having C-Sting and Octo here. Start your charge here. Make sure you get up here. Release it pretty much as soon as it's ready. And it'll last. See how bad that is with the searchlight. And then it'll last through the explosion. And mitigate some lag there. And then you're on your way. Get off me. So, I think this thing has iframes. Maybe not. Just a billion health, or what? That's what I have right now, Bob. My SD to SNES is in the game saver. I did that so I could use slow motion for the grab part. And that's why I'm getting these super slow save states. So that pretty much covers all the differences that I can think of from having C-Sting early, from doing Chameleon third, and I covered the trick as well as I think I can. So I guess that's it for this tutorial. Hope it helps. I've been asked for it multiple times. So. I'll highlight it, add it to the collection with the other tutorial, and upload it to YouTube when I get a chance. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace. Alright. Now that that's over with,